Welcome back. I'm Jill with thecarefreekitchen.com, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a silky smooth, delectable cheese fondue. Now this cheese fondue is so perfect to make if you're having like a romantic night in, or maybe celebrating with the family, or bringing in the new year. This really is super easy to make from scratch. There's a few things you need to know, so follow along and I will show you step by step how to make this delicious cheese fondue. So for the cheese, today I am using a Swiss cheese. That is my main base, is a Swiss cheese, and it's a pretty classic cheese to use in fondue. And I'm also using a Gruyere, and I do like this Boarhead brand. It's pretty available where I live, but really any Gruyere cheese is going to be great. And then my family likes it just a little bit more mild. These both have a little bit of a stronger flavor, so I'm adding some white cheddar to mine too, enough to make about 2 pounds of cheese here, and I'm going to shred it myself. When you're making fondue, you really want to shred it, and then we're going to add some cornstarch. And the ratio there is about 1 tablespoon per pound of shredded cheese. So I'll show you how to do that, and it will keep it nice and silky smooth. So here's my liquid, and this is apple juice, actually. White wine is a little more preferable, like anything that you would be drinking, but I am making this for my family today, so I'm substituting the apple juice, and then also we are going to use a lemon. And acidity is really good in this recipe because it's going to keep the cheese from being too stringy. It breaks down the proteins in the cheese, so a little bit of lemon juice, and then I'm using some ground nutmeg, some fresh or some ground in a jar is just fine. And then for garlic, so there's a couple ways you can do this. I'm actually just going to use a little bit of garlic oil, and then also some Dijon mustard. And this flavor profile is just a really nice and mellow but flavorful cheese fondue. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shred my cheese. And it's really important to note when making cheese fondue that you need to shred your own cheese, because pre-shredded cheese, like when it comes in the package, it has a coating on the cheese and it will keep your fondue from being like silky and smooth. So one of the most important things about fondue is that you need to shred your own cheese. And you can use a shredder for this. You can use a Cuisinart, any kind of electric one if you want, or just take a few minutes and shred it yourself. So I'm going to take a few minutes here and shred this cheese, and I'll be right back. All right, so now I have all of my cheese shredded, and I'm going to add some cornstarch. And the rough estimate here is about 1 tablespoon of cornstarch per pound of cheese. So what I'm going to do is just sprinkle this on there, and then you can just use your fingers, and you can kind of tell when it's all incorporated. So I've added 1 tablespoon, and the second one, there we go. And just add this in, and this will keep your cheese from like clumping together and not melting very well. And it will also help the cheese fondue be just a little bit thick. All right, now we're ready to start making our fondue. Okay, so first I'm going to turn my heat on just medium heat. And a classic way to do this is to get a clove of garlic and put it on the bottom of your pan. But I actually like to use some of this oil in the garlic and try and get it without the garlic cloves. This just adds a lot of flavor without the grittiness of garlic powder. There we go. And now we are going to heat up our apple juice or white wine. And then I'm going to juice 1 lemon in here. And we want to bring this to a low simmer. There we go. All right, so one of the best things you can do when making your fondue is to add your cheese slowly. So we're going to add it and then stir it until the cheese is melted, and just be really patient and slow with the process. But also, we don't want to overcook the fondue. It should only take about, 8 to 10 minutes to actually get the cheese melted. And if you overcook it, then it can be like kind of clumpy. So to get that really smooth cheese sauce fondue, we want to do it kind of slow. And really be sure and just let it all melt together. And I'm just adding big handfuls here. Stirring it gently. I have my heat down to about medium now. And keep watching and I will show you all kinds of fun, easy dippers that you can use for your fondue. I mean, you can go super fancy. There is a ton of different breads and pretzels and rolls to use in your bakery. Or you can just keep it pretty simple and just do some crackers and veggies or apples. Those are all great ideas for dipping in cheese fondue. Okay, and then the last of our cheese. I'm also going to add in a scoop of Dijon mustard, a little bit of black pepper, and then also a little bit of nutmeg. And nutmeg is so delicious in savory recipes as well as sweet recipes. Just adds a really nice nutty flavor. So I'm just gonna go ahead and gently stir all of this in. And you pretty much want to have your dippers ready by the time your cheese fondue is ready. You can serve this in a crock pot, you can serve it in a fondue bowl, or you can just serve it right out of this pan. The sooner you can eat it after you make it, the better. It'll be nice and rich and creamy. So this is what it looks like. Nice and smooth and silky. All right, let's get dipping. Okay, so for my dippers, I kind of like to create some shapes, and whatever you have a lot of, just use that to create your shapes. So these are some pretzels that I found at this supermarket just in my deli section, and they make such fun dippers. And then also I found this bread, and it's a jalapeno cheddar bread. My family does love really spicy things, so I am going to use that. Just make like kind of a nice shape here. And if you kind of put it in clumps, it just is so pretty. And then of course I have some little petite tomatoes, and I don't want to get them too far under there. And check these out. I found these at my supermarket too. They're these cute little crispy crackers, and I thought that would be a nice, fun shape to have on the fondue board. And some sausage. Now this is some Italian hot sausage. You could use really any kind of sausage that you wanted, but it is fun to have a mixture of meat and cheese on the fondue board. Some grilled chicken would be really yummy. Chunks of steak. Some steak bites would be delicious. And then let's see, here is some broccoli, and I just washed and cut up this broccoli, and then I blanched it really quick. It's still very crispy, as you can see, or it's not super crunchy, but it's not soft either. But when you blanch it, you get that gorgeous green color on your broccoli. Okay, and then these are the Brussels sprouts, and I just love Brussels sprouts so much. And you can do all kinds of roasted vegetables, the Brussels sprouts or the new potatoes. So here are the new potatoes, and I just cut them in half, put them in a little bit of oil and salted them, and then put them in the oven for about 30 minutes. And these are really perfect for putting a little skewer in and dipping in the cheese sauce. Aren't those gorgeous? All right, red peppers are a classic on a fondue board. I just love red peppers. The mini peppers work really good too. I also have some apples, and these are some Honeycrisp apples, which I sliced into just little chunks, like 1-inch piece chunks, and they were just put in some lemon water to keep them from browning. And the sweetness and the tartness of the apples, it just makes such a fun dipper too. These are Granny Smith apples, and again, this tartness and the sweetness, it's just such a fun combination for a cheese fondue. And another fun dipper are grapes. And sometimes it's surprising that there are so many fun options that are sweet with the tart cheese, but grapes are really perfect for this too. And then I also found these little sourdough rounds, and that I'm going to use to just fill in the rest of my cheese board here. All right, here is my glorious fondue board. I mean, check it out. Isn't it amazing? This fondue is rich and thick and creamy and silky smooth and everything that you love in a cheese fondue recipe. And here are all kinds of fun and easy dipper ideas. I mean, everything from the green apples to the red apples to the sourdough rounds and the Italian sausage. I mean, this is hands down one of the best ways to celebrate a family occasion or a romantic night in. So now it's time to taste test our cheese fondue. You ready? This is my favorite. I mean, I love sourdough bread so much, so this is such an easy find. So delicious. All right, here we go. I mean, really, chef's kiss. This is so fun and so delicious. Got that crusty, chewy sourdough bread, silky smooth fondue. I mean, it's a match made in heaven. I love it so much. All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Carefree Kitchen. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me here, and I'll show you all kinds of fun and easy recipes that your family will love. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.